Hello St Martins. Now I've been asked to make a spelling video for this morning. So I've watched last week's and there was a little girl in there called Martina Hartington. I haven't seen her again, so I don't know what she's been getting up to since. And that was all about using some dog to help with your spellings. Now there are some other ways you can use to practice spellings, but before I show you those, I'm just going to show you this little rhyme, which if you've been in year 2, you might have seen before. And we use this to explain to the year 2 children how crazy spelling is, because in reception and in year 1 you learn all your phonic sounds and you can sound out all the words and you can have a go at writing, and then you arrive in year 2 and we tell you the sad news that actually a lot of words in English you can't sound out. You have to learn how to spell them. And so you have to actually remember and learn off by heart the spelling patterns, because about half the words in English you can't sound out just using phonic sounds. So this is the little rhyme that we use to remember that. This is crazy. I just can't see. Spelling makes no sense to me. Pretty has an E, city has a C, giant has a G, and thumb ends in B. Flies and skies have no Ys, hopped has double P, robbed has double B, and goodness knows why great has EAT. No and knee have a silent K. In war and water, you can't hear the A. And there is no way they has an A. And whoever you are, don't give fast, bath or past a silly R. So you've all got lists of tricky words that are hard to spell that your teachers have given you. Now these are some of the year 2 words. I'm sure even some people further up the school may have forgotten some of these. So what I want you to do is you're going to use your list and choose some words to practice. I'm going to show you some different ways you can practice them. Now one way you've probably all seen is the look, say, cover, write, check method. Often at the top of your list of words, it might even say that at the top, but not many people actually do it. Lots of people look at the word and write the word. If you write the words down lots and lots of times without covering them up, you're never really going to learn them. They might as well be words from a different language that you're just copying out endlessly, and it doesn't help them stick in your brain. So what I'm going to demonstrate is how you're actually meant to do look, say, cover, write, check. So I've chosen a word that I used to have trouble spelling, which is environment. I think it's probably a year 5 or 6 word. So when you looked at it and you've said it, and if you don't know what it means, make sure you ask someone so you know what it means. Then you can start looking even more carefully and maybe breaking it up. So we've got an EN, making the N sound, and we've got a VI, a V and an I, and the bit I used to always forget was the RON. So there's a RON in the middle, and then there's a MENT on the end. So you then look at that really carefully and maybe say it like that. You can maybe even do the syllables, environment, or you can just chop it up into bits that you recognise like I've done. So I've got an N and a VI and a RON and a MENT. Then you cover it up. Now I can still see my shapes, which might help me a bit. So it started off in the first shape, I had an N, EN, then there was a VI, then there was a bit I always forget, the RON, and then it ended in the MENT. And after you've written it, then you can move it across and you can check you've got it right. And of course, if you've got it wrong, that's how you learn. The best way to learn a spelling is actually getting it wrong, seeing which bit you got wrong, and then having to do it again. So then covering it up and having another go. So I've got Indy here from year 2, and she has got a year 6 tricky word in front of her. So the first thing you have to do is say the word. So do you know what that says, Indy?
Yes.
Go on then, can you tell me what it says?
Mischievous.
Well done, mischievous or mischievous. I think there's 2 ways of saying it. So if someone likes making mischief, they're a bit cheeky, they might be mischievous. Now we've looked at it and we've said it, we've got to look at it really carefully before we cover it up. So have a look, first of all, at the start of the word. So we've also almost got a miss, haven't we?
Yeah.
It says miss, but there's not 2 S's, there's only 1 S. Then what sound have we got after the miss?
Chai.
We've got a chai or a ch. We could separate them. Do you want them as a chai? Should we put it right? We'll have a chai. So we've got Miss Chai. And then how do you want to separate that? Do you want just the E on its own, or do you want EV? What do you think?
E on its own.
E on its own. I'm going to do a funny shape round there. So we've got Miss Chai, then we've got E. Do you want Vus on its own, or should we chop it in half?
Vus.
You want all of it, all 4 letters?
Yeah.
You can remember all 4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, you could do Vous. There's a Vo, and there's an Us, but Indy's going to go for it. She's going to see if she can get all of those in one go. Now, the next most important thing is you need to cover it up. So have you looked at it for long enough? Probably not, because it's a year 6 word. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. We're going to see how many you can remember. So Miss, then we've got a Chai, then we've got an E, and then we've got a Vus with 4 letters. Right, will this tortoise cover it all? Ah! Right, it's gone. There is your pen, Indy. Let's see which bits you can remember. She's going to do it microscopically small now. But we will be able to see if it's right. So we've got Indy's attempt at mischievous. So I'm going to remove the tortoise. And let's see. Do you think you got it right, Evie? Because you've got to check it yourself.
Yeah, just I missed the air.
Ah, you missed the air. So that is the most important thing, that you check it and then you have another go. So even though I drew a blobby shape round it, you still forgot it. So we'll have one more go. I'm going to be naughty and rub it out with my finger. So we've got Miss, Chai, E, Vus. Ready to have another go?
Mm-hmm.
Come right bigger this time so I can see it a bit better. Right, wait for that turtle to land, or tortoise. There he is, he's landed. See if we get it. So remember, this is a year 6 word. And I keep calling you Evie. Indy is in year 2. I've forgotten even who you are. So, do you think you got it right this time?
Yeah.
We've got the Miss, we've got the Chai, we've got the E, we've got the Vus. Well done. Do a tick and a smiley face. Thank you very much, Indy.
Okay.
As well as using look, say, cover, write, check, you can make it a bit more interesting by using colours. So here we've got someone who's written it in the shape of a rainbow. They've written their words as a rainbow, or just using different coloured pens or crayons. This one up here, they've traced over the word using lots of different colours, or they've just made patterns out of the words. So anything you can do to make the words a bit more memorable. And a strategy we use in year 2 a lot is thinking of pictures that help us. So this word here is busy, but it's actually got a bus at the start. So a picture of a bus would help you remember it. Also, if you say it differently, if you say bussy instead of busy. And this one here, we've got a picture of a man, because many is spelt manny. So that might help you remember it through pictures. Or you could use different shapes. I know some of you further up the school are experts at bubble writing. So you could write your spelling words with bubbles. You could even cut out pictures from magazines or newspapers and stick them down to make the words. Another way of practicing is by making a pyramid out of the word. And even with quite a short word, it will end up with a very large pyramid. If you look at this one here, accidentally, it makes a huge pyramid. If you use a simple word like said, put the first letter at the top, then the next 2, then the next 3, and then finally the whole word. But I'm sure everyone knows how to write said. So choose one of the tricky words and see if you can make it into a pyramid shape. So have a rummage around in your old pack or your new pack, or maybe even one from last year, and find your spelling lists. And if you can't find them, I've just put them on the end of this video. So if you just pause, these are the lists of the words for each year group. Some of them will be exactly the same as the ones your teacher has given you. Some of them might have a few extra ones, but they're basically the words that you're meant to know by the end of each year. So these are the year 1 words, and these are the year 2 words. Now it starts to get a bit scary. So these are the words for year 3 and year 4. So choose words that you definitely don't know. Choose 5 or maybe even 10 words, and you can try rainbow writing them in pyramids. Just look, cover, write, check them. See if someone else in your family maybe can give you a mini test on them, or maybe you could test someone else in your family on their words. And last of all, the scary list for year 5 and 6. I expect if we gave a test to the teachers on these words, I don't think we'd get them all right. There are some really tricky words, and so you are always learning with spellings. You never know all of them, and everyone makes mistakes. So good luck with learning those words, and maybe you can tell your teacher later in your Zoom which words or which ones you've conquered today and think now that you definitely know. So good luck, St Martin's, and goodbye.